Hello, you're watching Channel One TV. My name is Nete Ajahu. Today we are privileged to be joined in studios by the Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Madam Abena Amoah, to have an important discussion about a testimonial campaign they are embarking on. Before we have the discussion, let's check out some of the testimonials. We'll be right back.
Listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange exposed MTN Ghana to a much larger market. Typically, when companies list on a stock exchange, they're probably looking to raise equity financing for the business. Of course, our motivations were a bit different, and the intention of localization as part of the 4G license was also different. It had more of a developmental objective for Ghanaians to partake in the profits and the success of MTN in Ghana.
The listing has enabled us to have access to cheaper long-term capital. That helps us to be able to upscale our capacity by increasing it by more than 100%. This has led to the company becoming profitable and has made consistent profits over the last 6 years.
In terms of governance, opening up a shareholding structure to different types of shareholders, Ghanaians and some foreigners, it's created an environment where the governance structure of the bank has improved significantly. It's been of great benefit to the bank.
One of the most important things that financial institutions need is liquidity. So accessing corporate bonds has really helped us to be able to grow this business and to grow it sustainably. Today, Bayport Savings and Loans remains the largest payroll services provider with a balance sheet of over 1 billion cedis.
I would encourage these companies, multinationals who are operating in the country, to think about listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange to extend the capital markets and provide a very robust capital markets environment for Ghanaians to participate in, and also bring stability to the economic environment overall.
By opening up and listing, for instance, you can raise so much capital that the business can grow beyond yourself and grow beyond even your generation. So I would advise local and indigenous business owners, they should begin to look wide, but specifically they should consider listing.
And treating all companies in Ghana to reach out to the stock market to try and raise corporate bonds, because it gives you and affords you patient capital that allows your business to grow.
Heed the call to benefit also from the Ghana Stock Exchange. Join us to build a capital market that creates wealth and prosperity for your company and for the Ghanaian investor. Who are your employees, your contractors, your customers, your community? Together, we will achieve our vision of a leading capital market, transforming Ghana's economy.
You're welcome back to this very important interview we are having with the MD of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Madam Abena Amoah. My name is Nete Ajahu. Madam, you're welcome to Channel One TV.
Thank you very much, Netele, and it's wonderful to be here.
Thank you too. You're having this testimonial campaign. Can you tell us what specifically it's about and its objective?
We are implementing an important strategy for the Ghana Stock Exchange, and the aim of that strategy is to demystify what it means to list on the stock market. Often the GSE talks about its own stories, what is going on there, but we thought it was important this time for the market to hear from the companies that have listed on the market and for them to tell their own success stories. And so we look to our own listed companies and we use them to showcase and tell the stories themselves. As you can hear from the video that just played, a company like MTN came to market. It didn't necessarily need capital, but it realized that opening up the company to allow Ghanaians, its employees, its contractors, the general public, to participate in its own success story was a very important initiative. And a company like MTN today has over almost 200,000 shareholders
Okay.
who are benefiting by being a member of the company. So the purpose really is to make sure that the companies who are on the market are telling the stories and using this as a platform to encourage others to come to the market.
So how many companies are we looking at in this campaign?
In the campaign, we are inviting, the invitation is open to everyone. Okay. There are thousands of companies that are registered in Ghana. Some are multinational, some are medium-sized companies founded by entrepreneurs. The first generation is over, the second generation is taking over. Any company that needs long-term patient capital, okay, we are inviting you to the market.
I know one thing that we are trying to do with this campaign is to boost investor confidence. For the past 2 years, we've had the DDP, which has impacted negatively on customers who have listed with these companies. What are you anticipating to get from this campaign?
The other thing, of course, is that many people sometimes say they don't even know we have a stock market, and they are looking for opportunities to invest their money, some savings that they have. So through this campaign, we want investors to know that there is a viable market to look at. So far this year on our equities market, the index, the composite index, which measures the performance of the market, is up about 39%. Wow. One of the best if not the best in West Africa, and one of the best in Africa. So investors looking for an opportunity to put away some of their savings and let their money work for them. We want to highlight some of these success stories and invite more Ghanaians to invest on the stock market as well.
Okay. So how does it fit into the GSE's broad strategy?
It's very important that our market becomes a real beacon for transformation of our Ghanaian economy. And this is a very key tenet of our strategy. And that strategy says that we need to diversify the products on the market. We need to educate potential issuers or people that need to raise capital, as well as investors, about what the market offers them, the risk and benefits of it. And through this angle, we create more wealth, we create more jobs, we create a healthier investment climate so that every saver or every investor gets a real return for their money. And that is a key strategic tenet for us to transform and support the economic development of Ghana.
Okay, I'd like to know, what's the current stock market participation, especially when it comes to the companies that are listed? I know we are not impressed with what we have, but do you like what you see, and what should be done to ensure that more companies are listed on the stock exchange? I know Electrochem says they are going to do that in the coming months. Casa Perco, the shareholder, has done that. What is the stock market participation currently?
Look, we've come a long way. We're a relatively young market, 34 years almost. We are one of the leading markets in Africa, considering our age. Yeah. And so we've achieved a number of successes over the last few years. We feel it's time to escalate this and get this to another level. You can't really develop. And when we hear many entrepreneurs talk about access to capital, look at this beautiful studio you have. Yeah. It takes capital to build businesses. It takes capital to attract the right talent. It takes a certain corporate governance structure to ensure the sustainability of the company. And of course, it takes a certain economic environment for businesses to thrive. And so, whilst we have about 40 companies across our markets today, we thought it was important to launch more products. And that is why we recently launched our commercial paper market. It is essentially a short-term debt market. Okay. So any company that wants to borrow money for a short period, 15 days to 70 days, you can tap that market. Savers who have saved, put money into investment schemes, pension funds, can provide that capital. for those who need long-term patient capital, which a lot of people struggle with, a lot of companies struggle with here. They can tap our equities market and invite people in as shareholders, or they can tap our corporate bond market.
Okay.
So companies who are doing things that are benefiting the environment or want to do things in an ESG manner, corporate social bonds, green bonds, we have introduced products for them also to tap that market. And so our plan is that we want to create an avenue for companies to access a broad range of capital that meets their needs, but that also gives investors a very varied experience on the market.
Okay. Aside from these initiatives that you have, is there any other specific one for specific companies or specific target? Because we have small-sized businesses, the big companies. Are there specific ones for specific companies?
Absolutely. So currently we have, I'll call them 4 or 5 markets. We have the Ghana Alternative Market, or the GACS market, that we set up specifically for the SMEs.
Okay.
So the requirements to come in, we even have a fund that supports companies to pay for the fees of their advisors. We have so many incentives that allow these companies come in. We virtually don't charge, as the exchange itself, fees for them to list on the market. Companies like intravenous infusions came on the market, raised in those days about $7 million worth of capital, and have grown that business so much now that they have orders they can't even meet. And they are looking to come back to market and raise additional capital. For the larger size, medium size, larger companies, the financial companies, the banks, the insurance companies, the multinationals, we have the main equities market for them. We have a fixed income market where you borrow money. So there are companies that have even borrowed 10-year money. We have companies that have borrowed 1-year money, 2-year money, 5-year money. That allows them to deploy the money. They don't have to pay the principal back immediately, invest in their businesses.
Okay.
So we have different segments. And of course, another important sector for us is that there's a bunch of government companies, or companies that government owns 100% or is a majority owned company. We call them state-owned enterprises.
Yeah.
And many of them need capital. Many of them need stronger corporate governance practices. They need to become what SIC, the GCB banks, the GOILs, etc. have been in the past. And so we have a special project talking to government and their sector ministers to get all these companies onto the market. And we've had a few announcements recently with Graphic Corporation announcing boldly that they are coming to the market.
That's great. That's great. What are your final words for our viewers?
Look, the work we're doing at in the market is one that requires all Ghanaians to participate in. It's about creating wealth. It's about transforming our economy. It's about creating jobs. And we must create the jobs here. We must earn a living wage that allows us to save money. When we've saved money, we need to let our money work for us. When we pay money into our pension funds, when we go on retirement, that pension fund contribution, today the pensions have about 50 billion Ghana cedis, and companies are crying, we don't have capital. It's that money that goes and gets invested in well-run businesses that are listed on public markets like the Ghana Stock Exchange, where the investors can ask for certain accountability. The majority owner makes money, the minority investors also make money. We create jobs, we provide the goods and services that we have, and we create lasting companies. So it's a work for all of us. The policy makers have to ensure we have a strong macroeconomic environment, the right policies for all businesses to thrive. We investors must have a living wage that allows us to save and invest in our country and other places. And our companies have to be well run, managed and accountable, and pay good taxes, pay good salaries, and that is the formula for wealth creation. And I call on all Ghanaians to support that.
Thank you very much, Madam Abna. Well, there you have it. It's not late for you to join this campaign, irrespective of how big or small your company is. We've been having this conversation with the MD of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Madam Abna Amwa. My name is Nete Ajaho. Stay tuned and keep watching Channel One TV.